pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll please remain standing.
Let's pray. God, we admire and adore you. We bless you for what you have created, for all you have entrusted to us. Your gifts to us can be seen in the relationships that train us, the laws that defend us, the homes that shelter us, the food that sustains us, and the comfort that brings us rest, the leaders that build this community. All-wise God, be with us, guide us to be good stewards of these gifts, and may we use them to bring blessings to those around us, and you will be pleased with us as we reflect your love to this community. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome to City Council, September 6, 2022. Call to order public comments and community announcements and recognition. Kim, anything?
No.
Nothing. Consent agenda. All matters listed will be enacted by one motion unless a request is made for discussion by any council member or member of the audience, in which case the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately following this portion of the agenda. A, approve the minutes of the August 16th, 2020 City Council meeting. B, approve the renewal of Honor Park lease agreement between the City of Guthrie and the American Legion. C, approve the civil defense siren maintenance agreement between the City of Guthrie and Goddard Enterprise. D, approve the agreement between the City of Guthrie and Logan County Community Services, Logan Community Services Incorporated for temporary shelter care for juveniles. E, approve the cooperative service field agreement between the City of Guthrie, Oklahoma, DBA Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services for removal of deer, coyotes, and other nuisance wildlife threatening aircraft and human health on the airport property. F, approve the professional services agreement with Dr. Robert William Worden, D.O., to serve as medical director of the Guthrie Fire Department Emergency Medical Services. G, how many letters? Approve the EMS agreement between the City of Guthrie and Logan County Emergency Medical Services District 1, I-1 Board of Trustees. H, approve the EMS agreement between the City of Guthrie and North and East Logan County Emergency Medical Services District Board of Trustees. I, approve the engagement letter with Crawford and Associates, PC, for accounting and consulting for fiscal year 2023. J, approve the contract between the City of Guthrie, Guthrie Public Works Authority, and the NORPS LLC to provide information technology and consultation services. K, approve hangar property lease agreement with R Group Incorporated to lease hangar site number 23C for a total of 17,825 square feet to build a hangar of 100 by 100, 10,000 square feet. L, approve paying Young contract payment number 1 in the sum of $192,052.39 for the CDBG water main replacement project along Division from Water Plant to Harrison. Approve, and M, approve the June 14th, 2022 updates to the minimum standards for commercial activities at the Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport, GERA.
So moved.
Wait a minute.
Oh, please. Which one?
G and H.
G and H.
I want to set those out for discussion.
John, can I borrow your pen?
Okay.
All but G and H. Go ahead.
I'll second his motion for everything but G and H.
Motion's been made and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes are in.
Looks like the motion carries unanimously. We'll back up now. G, approve the EMS agreement between the City of Guthrie and Logan County Emergency Medical Services District I-1 Board of Trustees. Don, go ahead.
Well, the main thing I want everybody up here to think about, this is the renewal for us providing emergency services to the county, the people of Logan County. And there's 2 of them here. And if you remember back when I first started, we were $9.1 million upside on the ambulance service, upside down.
Right.
Well, since that time, we've been averaging between 500,000 and $1 million a year of more red ink. So we're renewing it now, and I'm not saying don't renew it now, but I want to bring it to you guys' attention that we need to get to addressing.
Are you saying we're
this
giving up our
bleeding-
leverage if we go ahead and renew it without trying to get a little bit more first?
No, because they'll need some notice. But I've been in several conversations with different people about trying to fix this. And, you know, one of them, there's a 3 mil levy. Well, we have, there's 22 housing additions platted for Logan County in the next 2 years. And there's 1,700, Tracy will probably. 1,900 houses for these 22 additions. And, you know, one conversation I was in, they said, well, every time they build a new house, you get 3 more meals. And I said, well, the problem with that, if I have a customer that I'm doing something for them and charging them $50 and it costs me $100 to do it, I don't want 2,000 more customers because I'm losing $50 every whack. And so you know, the number of houses that we're getting 3 more meals out of,
Still leaves us in the same predicament.
I said, all that amounts to is we get more red ink out of the deal. So we're looking at and been talking about a lot of different ways to look at this and address it. There's several ways, but of course one of them is keeping our EMS serving the city and then let these 2 districts contract with
Whoever.
whatever other agency that they do. That's one thing that would help us as far as we don't, you know, the city streets are rough, but going from here to the hospital doesn't wear them out. It's going to Luther Road and Charter Oak and back 40 miles round trip on those rugged trails. That's what wears our vehicles out. And it's also what ties our guys up for hours and hours doing those kind of calls. So, no, I'm not saying not to renew it, but the deal of it is we have to give them some notice. And if you remember in the budget, we put in a couple more firefighters. And that was on a basis, we found a way to do it for a couple of years. But that was a temporary deal with hopes of this ties right into getting that funding straight so that we can't wait till the couple years are up and go, okay, that plan's over, now what do we do? We need to start looking at this now rather than later.
Leroy, is there a chance to do it? Can we just do an executive session on this one time or I don't know where to go with this, so it's why I'm asking.
Well, I think Councilman Channel is just reinforcing what we talked about in the budget.
I think we all agree with what he's talking about.
I don't think we need further discussion tonight. All we're saying is that we needed more people because of the call volume we had, and we fixed that temporarily. We have added 3 more staff, and we built them into the budget, and we did it using funds, temporary funds for 2 years. And we're hoping that during this next budget year, we will have an opportunity to work some potential things through the state legislature, visit with the county about some options for additional funding. We're not the only one facing this. Many rural service providers some of them are even going out of business and discontinuing serving their city and the county. But it gives us a year to come up with a plan, and then once you come up with a plan, it's going to take a year before the revenue starts. So what we've done is we've funded to get through for the next 2 years while we address this issue. And I think Councilman Channel is just saying, we can't wait 2 years and then wake up and say, oh, we should have had some meetings. What he's saying is, we need to approve this plan and these 2 agreements, and then during this budget year, we need to have some meetings and pursue some options to find additional funding to pay for the EMS service.
I think we all agree with that.
You know, it was on the news recently, and I think it was Seminole somewhere,
Yes.
60-mile stretch of highway where there is no emergency services because of some of the rural ones going out of business. So if you're out in the middle of that 60 miles and you turn upside down, you're there until somebody comes along and helps you out.
Well,
And we need to address this kind of deal now because we don't want that happening here.
so you have no problem with us going forward on G tonight?
No, I
You just
don't
want
have
more
any
discussion?
problem with
All right,
either
so let's
one
go-
of them.
Let's go ahead and go to H then. Tell me about H.
H is the
That's the
same
same
deal,
deal.
just the same deal with a different agency. There's two
Okay.
agencies
Right.
that we contract with out in the county.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both, and I'm not saying those agencies, you know, they pass on the majority of what they take in, but if it's still costing us to keep it going, it's like fighting the buzzsaw every day. Eventually, you're gonna end up in trouble. And I just wanted to bring attention to that
Okay.
we need to put importance on that.
All right, well, I guess then, if nobody has any objection, we'll go forward with G and H as consent agenda items and vote on whether or not they're approved.
So moved.
Second.
So moved and seconded, everybody place your votes,
All votes are in.
and the vote is unanimous. All of the consent agenda items have passed. Thanks for your input, Don, that's great. Let's see, where am I at? Number 4, public hearing on the fiscal year 2023 budget for the general fund and miscellaneous fund. Don? Not Don. Leroy?
All right, Don, get up there.
Well, I was actually thinking of that, Don. I don't know why, but anyway.
I don't even know how to respond. We made a presentation a few weeks ago during the budget work session. The document's not changed. Don't plan on going through that presentation again. In your packet, there was a summary of the budget. Be glad to answer questions, be glad to make some presentation if need be, but I thought you might just open the public hearing part of it and see if there's any comments from the general public. And at least get that out of the way.
I don't know what's coming at me yet.
So you're waiting on general public comment?
Yes, we need to open the public hearing portion
All right,
of it.
well, open the hearing, public hearing for fiscal 23 budget for the general fund and miscellaneous funds. Are there any comments from the public? Staff? Council?
Yep.
Go.
The paper that I just handed down is, if you look at the yellow there, section 2, this is what I would like to strike off of that resolution that we already have on the agenda. And the reason for that, I would talk with Leroy and Billy some about it. That says, with leaving that in there, what it leaves us open to, there's no problem with the current staff, but we don't know who our next staff is going to be and what they're going to be trying to do. But we could get the next guy that comes in here and says, I'm going to make Tenny's dreams come true, and he can move whatever he wants, say from the police department, over and give it to Tenny, or he can go, I don't like Tenny, I'm going to take his away and I'm going to give it to the police department without going through any of us. And so then when the police department says we don't have no more money for bullets, and we say, well, what'd you do with it? And the new manager says, well, I moved it over so Tenny could buy truck tires for everybody. If we leave this out, they can transfer in the same department. Say Tenny, his fuel bill's higher, but we put on less gravel, so he's got some money from there. Transferring in the same department is one thing. Kim needs copier paper but doesn't need ink. So you can move some of that over.
Okay, so we'd end that first sentence on section 2 with department instead of with same, is that correct?
No, within this, either way.
And then the rest of it would be stricken? Strike it from or on?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
You can move it in the same department, but we don't want to get somebody the opportunity to play the shell game with taking money from one and moving to another that we're not privy to. I mean, Leroy brings us most of the transfers and all of that kind of stuff if it's something we need to know about. But without this in there, there's always that chance of
Does
whoever.
does that in any way hamper you?
No, there's, in the 6 years I've been here, we've not moved money from one department to other, except at the end of the year when we're truing up our balance. And sometimes they're not small, but sometimes we'll have to move some money to planning or to finance or something. But we typically do that once a year when we're balancing all the funds at the end of the year. And we would just simply bring that forward to the council.
But this wouldn't stop you
It would
from,
not hamper our operations.
all right, Dan.
It's just a safety looking down the road for other people that, who knows?
I don't have an objection to that. Kim, can you do that, just strike the or from one department to another within the same fund?
Yes, we can.
From the,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, in the,
Is that the motion?
You can go from,
You'd like to make?
that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, it's the motion you'd
I
like
will
to
make
make.
the motion that we approve that budget
If we
with
strike
this-
that.
I'll second
that
it.
if we strike that.
Okay,
but let's close the public hearing.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Back up. Back up. Let's see. Yeah, we do need to close the public hearing. We're done with everything, right? Nobody's got any more comments other than that one?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Let's see.
Next item's approving the resolution and
Oh,
someone.
2228?
Yeah.
Okay, discussion, item 5, discussion and possible resolution on resolution 2228 adopting the fiscal year 2023 budget for the general fund and miscellaneous funds.
Wait, where's 2229 on there?
Leroy?
Gave you the wrong paper.
That
It's gonna
would
the
be,
same.
Okay.
there's
One's
2
28.
resolutions,
Yeah.
and one of them that Channel was talking about is the one we're adopting now for the general fund.
Right, so we're gonna approve it with the change.
And the recommendation would be to approve the,
28.
yes.
2022.
With the
29,
amendment proposed by Councilman Channel.
No, 28, 29 is.
28 is for the council, 29 is for GPW.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So you're approving motion to approve resolution number 2022-28 with the amendment proposed by Councilman Channel.
Right,
Okay. And we have a motion
in a second.
and a second. Any other comments? Place of vote.
All votes, right?
Votes unanimous, motion passes. Item number 6, discussion and possible action to authorize city staff to renew a contract with United Health to provide medical, dental, and vision, and a new contract with Standard Life to provide life, AD&D insurance coverage for city employees for fiscal year 2023. Take it away.
Okay. First of all, I would like to give a big thank you to Dana Nursick, who's here tonight. She is our benefits agent with Burge Hall in Hampton. Her and her team have just done an excellent job this year of negotiating rates for the city. So this year, we were able to negotiate our rates to a 10% increase in health, dental, and vision plan, and we're able to bring down the cost of the city's life insurance by 11.46%, making the overall increase in our benefits only a 9.12%. So the spreadsheets before you outline the benefits and options that we had for fiscal year '23. After reviewing and comparing the benefit options, United Healthcare continues to be the best option for our employees for this new fiscal year. The spreadsheets highlighted in orange are the comparisons of the different plans. The smaller spreadsheet is an overall summary based on the numbers of the full-time budgeted positions for fiscal year '23. The new plan is identical to last year's health, dental, and vision plan. However, this year, we decided to go with a different carrier for the city's life insurance. The city currently has Dearborn, but will be moving over to Standard Life. In doing so, the city will be providing an additional $25,000 accidental death and dismemberment benefit to our first responders at no additional cost to the city. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions?
Looks good.
Would point out in our budget early, we had forecasted a 20% increase in cost with final negotiations being at 10%. That means there's $110,000 in the budget that we just adopted, that we would have the flexibility to move to other things if it was needed.
Cool, cool. All righty, we discuss possible action on resolution 20, authorize city staff to renew the contract with United Health to provide medical, dental, and vision. Are there any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Everybody place your votes.
All vote Strand?
One against. Motion passes. Let's see.
Did I do that?
Item,
I didn't intend to.
oh, okay. Did not see unanimous pass.
Apologize, Paul.
There you go. You can
I
Double
was
vote.
studying the
both
numbers.
ways.
Maybe my belly did it. That's my mood over.
Item number 7, discussion and possible action on a request for a special use permit to allow for a 180 square foot accessory structure in the side yard for a property located at 319 Wagon Trail per PC application 22-011. I'll go ahead and read the rest. Conditions of approval recommended by the planning conditions. The accessory structure and fence must be located at least 10 feet back from the front of the garage. The accessory structure can only be located along the south side of the existing home and must meet a minimum of 5-foot setback from the south property line. A building permit is required and must be obtained prior to the placing the accessory structure on the property. Dan, go ahead.
Thank you.
Don, go ahead.
I was just going to add that the reason for the special use permit is per our code that any accessory structure that goes forward of the rear wall of a house requires a special use permit, regardless of size or that. And so obviously that's why the application is in front of you tonight. All of the other requirements, such as lot coverage, size of the accessory structure, all of that is also going to meet the code requirements. So tonight it's really about the location and that. You read the conditions that were approved by the Planning Commission in that. So the Planning Commission did recommend approval 3-0 with those conditions, but there's a couple conditions we want to kind of modify and add, and I'll let Leroy have that.
Oh, I just wanted to add clarity. One of the conditions says the accessory structure and fence must be located at least 10 feet back from the front of the garage. I would just like to clarify that the structure has to be behind the fence. It can't be part of the fence.
Yeah, right.
So I want to add that clarity. And then they proposed that it would be wood exterior in their proposal. And since it's going to be in the side yard, I would recommend we make that a condition as well, that it has a wood exterior.
All of it?
Well, that's what-
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Because it is in an area that would technically allow metal, so this will make sure that it is.
And if it was in the
is what they
backyard,
proposed.
that'd be
Right
one thing,
Yeah.
but since it's going to be in the side
Yeah.
yard, I think it ought to be a wood structure, and that's what they proposed.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
The applicant had already proposed
Proposed to do
to
that
put it
anyway,
behind the
but
fence
you wanted to
anyway,
make
so
part of
yeah,
the-
we just
part of
want
the
to
deal,
make
just
clarity.
be sure.
It
Yep.
looks like Leroy's house right there.
Yeah, it is in the, yeah, for the record, it is in the Mission Hill subdivision,
Oh, his that
319
great
Wagon
big
Trail.
Oh. That ain't.
All righty, guys. What do you want to do?
You didn't have,
Motion to approve.
you didn't have one
Objection.
objection?
No, I did not. I had, I think, there was one or two that had, at the Planning Commission that were just there for informational purposes, and when they found out where it was going to be and what type of building it was going to be, they had no further issue.
That's surprising.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions, comments?
Everything to,
Place your votes.
All vote Strand?
everything to allow this.
Votes unanimous. Motion passes. Motion carries. Item 8, discussion and possible action to confirm the mayor's nomination to appoint Brent Linford to the Guthrie Planning Commission to fill an unexpired term from March 31 to 2024. Does anybody have anything to say about that one?
So moved.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes for it.
Motion carries, it's unanimous. Item number 9, discussion and possible action on resolution 2230 to authorize the submission of a coronavirus response and relief supplemental appropriations act grant application to the Association of Central Oklahoma Governments, ACOG, for road improvements, and further authorize the mayor, city clerk, and city manager to execute any and all necessary documentation to complete the grant process. Tenny.
On August 10th, staff received notification from ACOG regarding the call for projects for the CRISA grant. The grant requires no match. City staff selected 3 different roads for reconstruction. All of these roads must be functional classification roads. Staff selected the following roads: College from I-35 overpass to Highway 33. It's a classification of a minor collector. Pine Street north from Bird Creek to north city limits. It's a functional classification of a minor arterial road. East Oklahoma Avenue from Pine Street to State Highway 33. It has a functional classification of a major collector. All selected roads meet the ACOG criteria for this program. The grant has a $500,000 cap. However, our project estimate total came to $625,940. Staff met with our street CIP committee, and the committee was unanimous in favor to use street CIP funds to make up the difference of the project of $125,940. The pre-application must be submitted by September 16th, and final applications due October 31st.
We're gonna trim the bushes too, right?
Yes.
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 It don't take a grant to do that.
I know, but I just thought I'd throw
But
that.
one other thing, I mean, you said it, but I don't know more for the public's information, because I can hear them now. Well, why didn't they do this street? Why didn't they do that street? To qualify for this certain grant, it has to be a certain classification of street, and we don't, all of our city streets don't classify. We can't just pick one out. We have to use these 10 or 12 or whatever the number of the streets are to fit this. So if you're disappointed that it wasn't your street, that's why we could only use certain ones to fit this.
That's correct. A large portion of our roads are considered local roads, which do not qualify for these funds.
A motion to approve?
Second.
Motion's been made second. Any other discussion? Place your votes.
All votes for it.
Votes unanimous. Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion and possible action on resolution 2231 to authorize the submission of a Transportation Alternatives Program, TAP grant application to the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, ODOT, for road safety improvements, and further authorize the mayor, city clerk, and city manager to execute any and all necessary documentation to complete the grant process. Tenny.
Again, August 10th, we received notification of the ACOG regarding call for projects for the TAP grant. This grant is an 80-20 match pedestrian safety grant. City staff selected a series of signal light improvements throughout town for the pedestrian safety grant. All signals must be located on functional classified roads. We've selected the following intersections: a full traffic signal and pedestrian signal at Division and Perkins, a Hawk pedestrian signal at Noble and Walnut, a Hawk pedestrian signal at Division and Mineral Wells Park entrance, pedestrian signal upgrade at Division and Walnut, a pedestrian signal upgrade at Industrial and Division, a full traffic and pedestrian signal replacement at Winston, Oklahoma. All these locations, again, meet the criteria, ACOG criteria for the program. Total project estimate is $833,016. Staff again met with the Street CIP Committee, and the committee was unanimous in favor of using Street CIP funds for the 20% match required, being $166,603.20. Again, the pre-application submittal date is September 16th, and the final application date's October 31st.
Those signals, will explain those?
The
Crossing signals?
hawk signals?
Yes.
What the hawk signal is, it appears to be a regular signal light, except it will be green at all times. Only time it turns red is when a pedestrian pushes the button, and it'll light up red across Noble. You'll still have your regular stop signs at Walnut, and then you'll have your regular stop signs at Mineral Wells entrance.
But when that turns red, that means all you knuckleheads have to stop.
That means I'd have to stop, yeah.
The amber ones. The amber ones, people drive through them.
Yes.
And I see them doing that, and the judge is here tonight, and he said, you ever get ticketed for that, he's putting you under the jail, not in the jail. So,
All right, folks, what do you want to do?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Place your votes.
All votes for it.
Votes unanimous. Motion carries. Item number 11. Stay there, Jenny. Discussion and possible action of Resolution 2232 to authorize submission of Surface Transportation Block Grant Urbanized Area Application to the Association of Central Oklahoma Governments for a multimodal redesign reconstruction project on Sooner Road, and further authorize the mayor, city clerk, and city manager to execute any and all necessary documents to complete the grant process. Jenny.
Again, same thing. We got notified on the 10th for the call for projects for the SDBG UZA grant to update the FY 22-25 program. We figured we had just applied for the RAISE grant. We've got most of the documents prepared for these projects. We figured we'd put Sooner Road in. It's an 80-20 grant to reconstruct Sooner Road. We feel a lot better with this now that we've done some improvements to the application recently through the RAISE grant application by enhancing the project with bicycle lanes and different enhancements like that we feel like we could get more points. We've also included the bridge, the couple of bridges. Again, that's 25 additional points to the project there. So we feel with the upgrades and enhancements that we've done to it, it'd be a good opportunity to submit this project.
So for clarification to those listening, the first grant was really an attempt to be, to save money or to, you didn't put enough on there to score the points to even be considered. We didn't, or the city.
The first time we have applied for the STBG UZA grant for Sooner Road, it was just a basic reconstruction.
Right.
Now that we've kind of enhanced the project and added
And that didn't bring enough points to get considered. So
Correct.
you had to enlarge the project to even get considered for the grant,
Correct.
which was a good thing.
So what are we looking cost-wise on it? And 10 million? or
It
something?
19th is like 13 million.
So it's like 10 million.
Yeah.
But not 6
I'll answer that, but could I address Tracy's point? Back when we originally appointed for it, there's been some changes. The scoring system for the Southwest 19th Street and Sooner Road, when we made the original application, was a different scoring system that was not favorable to us. And so that has changed. So it's a combination of what you said plus scoring system. It's not just that we improved it and we'll get more points. These are still going to be very competitive even with their current scoring system and whether we get it. The likelihood of getting both of these we might see snow on July 4th before could happen. The budget for the, and the cost keeps going up. So when we did the raise grant, it was about a $12 million project for both projects, and we were looking at about $2.5 million of matching funds. The combination of percentage of match may have been a little different, I can't remember. But every year you wait, cost goes up. And so Sooner Road, the estimate is $9 million total. And our share would be a little over $3 million of that, if I'm reading that correctly, Tim.
Yeah, that's right. 9.3 total cost, 80% would have been 6.3, and ours is right at 3 million.
So that will be a little bit challenged, but we would take it out of a combination of our 3/4 cent CIP tax. If we get this, we may not do an annual overlay project for the rest of the CIP to get this project done, which is a major project.
Yeah.
Big time.
We also remember that we have $7 million in unbudgeted funds through a combination of our Guthrie Public Works Authority rainy day fund, our general fund rainy day fund, and the balance that we carry over in our general fund and our Public Works Authority fund. So we may have to shift some money around if we get this, but I think it's doable. If we get both, it may be challenging, but I think that would be that would almost be unheard of to get both of them.
All right,
Just the
fellas.
next one.
Item number 11, discussion
So
possible.
moved.
Wait, we need a motion.
Huh?
Motion.
That's what I was getting ready to.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Anybody, any other discussion? Place your votes.
All vote Strand.
Motion carries, unanimous. Item number 12, discussion possible action on resolution 2233 to authorize submission of a surface transportation block grant application to the Association of Central Oklahoma Governments for a multimodal redesign and reconstruction project on Southwest 19th Street, and further authorize the mayor, city clerk, and city manager to execute any and all necessary documentation to complete the grant process. Jenny?
Same thing, we're just putting together a reconstruction project, redesign reconstruction project for Southwest 19th Street. It's the same funding source, same everything, except for the budget cost is, total cost of this project was 3.7. Our part would be 1.3.
Any discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Place your votes.
All vote Strand.
Motion carries. Item number 13, discussion and possible action on resolution 2234 to authorize the submission of a safe streets and roads for all discretionary grant to the U.S. Department of Transportation for an action plan grant, and further authorize the mayor, city clerk, and city manager to execute any and all necessary documentation to complete the grant process. Tenny?
The safety action plan will enhance the city's eligibility for future transportation opportunities. The engineering estimate budget is $250,000 with a $50,000 match from the city.
Anybody have any discussion, comments?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Everybody, place your votes.
All vote Strand.
Motion carries. Item number 14, discussion and possible action to accept the 2022 VOCA, thank you, Teddy, VOCA Victims of Crime Act Grant number 2022 Guthrie CI 012 in the sum of $128,614,000. Grant period through 2009 of 2023, and further authorize the mayor, city clerk, and city manager to execute any and all necessary documentation except to implement grant. Don?
This is the grant we use to fund our two victim service advocates. They service about 200 victims a year, probably about 80% of which are inside the city of Guthrie. Last year, we didn't get fully funded. This year, we got 1 penny more than we got last year. They cut approximately 20 new programs and 25 old programs in order for the programs that were working to be able to keep the funding that they got last year. So they anticipate next year we'll receive more, but that's what they anticipated last year. Just because of salary increases and stuff like this, last year it cost about $38,000 on the city's part. This year it'll cost about $40,000. We left all our budget pretty much the same as it was last year, and we're confident that we can cover that amount through our existing funds. Asking you to approve it so we can keep servicing our victims.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Place your votes. So hard not to say bad.
Thank you all very much.
Motion passes unanimously.
Arm banded.
Leroy, do you have a city manager's
I
report?
do not.
Thank you.
I'd be glad to write one, though.
That's quite all right. We've got enough on our plate. Item number 16, request comments from members of city council. Don.
This Don?
That
I get
Don.
to talk again?
That Don. I was looking at you when I said it that time. Leroy.
I'm trying to keep you.
Dan.
If I talk a lot, you.
Do you have something you want to say? To everybody.
It's homecoming weekend. Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays.
If you're a Blue Jay, this is my 40th. I ain't gonna tell you what Leroy's is, but anyway, that's all I can think of. That's coming up. We're gonna put the beat down on Duncan.
Cool. Jeff?
I think Red Brick Nights was basically successful. I know we was a little bit, thinned out because of all the people on vacation. I understand that, but other than that, it's going to get warm again. I think that it's not going to be 100, but it's going to be back up in the mid-90s next week. So I'm hoping for some rain. But anyway, that's it. Thanks, staff. Oh yeah,
Right.
thank you, staff. Well, that was great tonight. I appreciate what y'all had to run together. So thank you.
Right, nothing? Mr. Williams?
No comment.
No comment? No comment? That's comment in itself, isn't it? Should I go into it? No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't have anything to say either. All right, so, consider approval to convene an executive session pursuant to authority Title 25, OS 2001, as follows: 307B1, the purpose of discussing the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of public officer or employee, annual review and retention of employees. 307B1, for the purpose of discussing employing, hiring, appointing, promotion, demotion, disciplining, resignation of public officer or employee, city judge, annual review and renewal. 307B, for the purpose of discussing city attorney's annual renewal. So what do you want to do?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes are in.
To executive session we go. We'll see y'all in a little bit, folks. So how do I get us back in?
Roscoe P. Coltrane. There you go.
That's what a lot of people think, and it's,
Item number 18, return to council chambers. I need a vote to come out of executive session.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Place your bets.
all votes are in.
You did get the right one this time, right?
Vote is unanimous.
Yes.
Item number 19, consider action regarding city clerk or treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is to retain.
To retain.
To retain, Jim.
You'll retain, okay.
Motion is to retain.
Yes.
So moved.
Yep.
Seconded. Did I hear a second down there?
Yes.
Brown? Been moved and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes are in.
So moved, unanimous. Item number 2, or excuse me, the next one is to renew the employment agreement with
City judge.
our city attorney, or not city attorney, but municipal attorney.
City judge.
City judge, excuse
So
me.
moved.
Moved
Wait,
and
I got
seconded.
one question for him.
Uh-oh.
How's it feel being last on the docket?
At least I was next to last.
Shut up, Don.
Motion's been made and seconded. Place your votes.
Oh, all votes are in.
Votes unanimous. And the last one is to renew the engagement letter with our city attorney.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Place your bets.
All votes are in.
It's always a bet when you're talking about an attorney. Isn't it? Vote is unanimous. Item number
Bang the gavel.
22, it says, I can't read that word.
Adjournment.
Adjournment.
It does, it says adjournment. All right, call to order the Guthrie Public Works Authority meeting. Consent agenda. Approve the minutes of August 16, 2022 Public Works Authority meeting is A. B, approve the engagement letter with Crawford Associates PC for accounting and consulting. C, approve the contract between the City of Guthrie, Public Works Authority, and NORPS LLC to provide information technology consulting services.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, place your votes.
All votes are in.
Votes unanimous. Item number 3, public hearing on fiscal year 2023 budget of the Guthrie Public Works Authority and miscellaneous funds. Do I need to open a public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Open. Any comments? Any complaints? Okay,
Close the hearing.
Got to close the hearing.
Close it.
Close it.
hearing's closed. Okay, excuse me. Discussion of possible, item 4, discussion of possible, I thought we had to do something there. Possible action on resolution 22-29, adopting fiscal year 2023 budget for the Guthrie Public Works Authority Fund and miscellaneous funds.
It's going to be the same.
It'd be a
I move
motion
we
to
approve
approve
the same
resolution.
language.
This is the one with the
Yes, it'd be a
changed
motion to
language.
approve resolution 2022-29 with the amendment proposed by Councilman Channel.
Exactly.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes are in.
Vote is unanimous. Item number 5, confirmation of city council action to authorize city staff to renew contract with United Health to provide medical, dental, and vision, and a new contract with Standard Life to provide life AD&D insurance coverage for city employees for fiscal year 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes are in.
Vote is unanimous. Item number 6, discussion of possible action to approve change order number 4 with Young Contracting LLC for the wastewater treatment plant project, Section B, lift station, increasing the original contract by $4,344.90. Tenny is walking to the podium.
You said decreasing, I think we're
It's
increasing.
increasing.
I probably just said it too fast.
Made me check myself here.
Well, it went down instead of up.
Change order 4 will be increasing the change, or the contract by $4,344.90. Brought to you last at council meeting, extending that same retaining wall an additional 10 feet for the installation of the transformer per OG&E's request.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Moved.
What's the,
Whoa, what? Discussion.
just a little,
Go ahead.
what's the status on that deal? As far as, are we 50%, 80%? What,
Percentage, I couldn't give you. The plant itself is on schedule yet.
Well, I was mainly interested in the pumping station, because it seems like every meeting he's wanting an increase. I want to know when it's going to stop.
The lift station,
It is.
they're out of time actually, and we're in liquidated damages right now with that contractor, so.
It's 11,000 in July.
Well, it's subject to.
Subject to
Yeah.
liquidated damages.
It depends on, we will negotiate once it's finished.
Okay, I have a, are you getting ready to say something, Leroy?
I was just going to point out that of our budget, we had 941,000 contingency, and overall, the change orders have decreased the price. Even with this one, we still got 960,000 in contingency for the project that we haven't spent. So,
Cool.
So even with all the changes, it has been a little bit of a decrease for total cost.
It just seems
Overall.
like it's,
They've been small.
Seems like you're getting nitpicked, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Couple thou here.
All right, we do have a motion to approve.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
okay.
We have a second? Been motioned and seconded. Place your votes.
All votes are in.
And the vote is unanimous. What's that word?
Adjourn.
We are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming.